welcome to round one with 4-color mid-range. Sadly, I know Jarvis, you fellow Team Master Route member, is streaming, but we did not get to play against him. Someone else got in the queue. So that's kind of my hope, especially because these are all of his cards that I borrowed, and he is playing something else, I believe. And we'll see. If I play against him and beat him with his own cards, it'd be good. But anyways, back to the actual match. Uh, this hand is very reasonable. Not a lot to say. It's kind of unfortunate we're going to ponder in the dark, potentially. Because we don't have to. The way this hand is structured, I don't want to lead on the wastable land. I don't really have... Yeah, I think I just lead on the fetch. And I will ponder on 2 once I have a little more info. It also helps that a lot of the earlier interaction that I'm trying to find with ponder is stuff that I'll be able to cast. So my opponent's playing... So the decks that they're either playing some kind of like Sultai Cascade deck, or they are playing some nonsense build of lands that's like 10 years old. So I'm just going to waste that and get it out of the way. It has to be the highest value target against Sultai, and against lands, if they're like nonsense lands, whatever. I don't believe that's a thing. Again, also, I'm waiting. Yeah, okay, we're on Sultai nonsense. So this hand is basically perfect there. So this is kind of interesting. I believe I would like to play Deathrite Shaman. I would also like to ponder. The question in my mind is what the sequencing here is. So I'm gonna... I think I'm supposed to fetch and then ponder. And then I don't really care about casting Kolaghan's Command just yet. So I want to fetch a green. I'm going to use the green in case I ponder into an Inquisition. Well, I do want all of these cards. I want the him on top of my deck. And I don't see a reason to... I want to put them him... So I want to draw the him next turn. Do I care about drawing Baleful Strix next turn? Yeah, I think I want to have Strix him in my hand. Because I want to use all my mana potentially with the Deathrite. So even though that makes me a little worse against an opposing him because I could lose the Strix. And then the reason I can't... like in theory I could go Deathrite Strix him, but then if my Deathrite dies I don't have 4 mana next turn to get to the him. So this is max... This is... I want to cast him to brick my opponent's hand, but at the same time I am... protecting it from their potential him here. Okay, I'm all for that exchange. I just got 2 cards out of a card that isn't 2 cards. Interesting. So, given that, I'm just Strixing, because I'm going to draw to the Deathrite on top of my deck. So my opponent has a Deathrite. So that's the best possible draw for me. Given this situation, I can either him plus Deathrite or Kolaghan's Command and make them discard a card. Because I don't have anything worth rebuying yet. I think him is probably the best leadoff here. I think I want to fetch black-red. That still lets me cast Leovold. Just fire the him as early as possible. Ooh, those are good hits. And then that. And then there's... Is there a reason to not attack? If my opponent attacks with their Deathrite, I just block with my Deathrite. And I think if they kill my Deathrite, I'm okay trading a damage. This is probably shardless. Whatever. So now if I draw a land and my opponent doesn't play a land. Okay. Leaving them hellbent seems a lot better than whatever I'm doing. Oh yeah, you can't play Snapcaster and Shardless Agent in the same deck, can you? That's another reason to not do that. Snapcaster Mage is so much better than Shardless Agent, honestly. What did we hit? What did we hit? And then I leave back the Strix. So I want to K-Command kill this. I guess trading here, getting them interesting. So I can either... Do I actually want to trade the Strix, or do I want to actually go after their hand after killing this? I just... The 1 damage isn't worth it. I'm going to give myself the option. If this is a him, that's brutal. Ugh. Well, I'm ahead on mana. I think I'm supposed to trade the Strix. Yeah, because it doesn't race as well. I want to keep that in hand. Guess it doesn't really matter too much if I keep it in hand or not. So he's going to kill the K command here. Yeah, they'll definitely... It's interesting. Yeah, they were supposed to eat the K command on the spot before I got to mana. Now I'm like representing a Snapcaster or whatever. I still have no idea which of these expeditions is which. Oh, that was just such a brutal him to Torok at the top. Someone take 4 here potentially? Trying to figure out what my plan is if I draw Jace. Probably plus it targeting myself and then figure it out from there. I guess there's no reason to play any further lands here because I can save them for Brainstorm. But there are some like having a bunch of mana does give me this weird out of like drawing Jace and then I can draw Jace and bounce my own Snapcaster and do stuff, or just draw Baleful Strix. So blue, black. I think I am close enough to death that firing this Brainstorm now is a smart play. That Snapcaster is really good, isn't it? So is my own Deathrite. Is my own Deathrite good? I feel like it is. I guess I didn't think about that. I could have snapped my Brainstorm when my opponent goes to eat something here. This is where some weird timing stuff happens. It gets real weird. That was not the right choice on my opponent's part. So the fact that this Kolaghan's command is still in my graveyard just gives me so much flexibility here. Are they casting Jace? That would be bad. Okay. I guess I can handle that. Yeah, this isn't horrible. These two just go here. Okay. Everything's fine. Things are less than fine. So I can. So I cannot win this game if Jace keeps going. So I have to kill it here. And I definitely want to fetch at some point. Just thinking through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 2 extra mana. Is another Deathrite of my own enough to save me from death here? Because what's happening is I am killing Jace and getting back a creature. I just have to think about whether Deathrite or Leovold is a better creature. I want to say the immediate Leovold or the immediate Deathrite is a better creature than the Leovold. So Then I also want to fetch a second trop, so I have the option of gaining a bunch of life. So I want to return target creature from my graveyard to my hand, deal 2 damage to my opponent. Black, red, blue. Gonna do that. I'm gonna fetch so that my mana with Deathrite is always up. It's just like a pretty important thing so that my opponent can't just like eat a creature in response to whatever's going on. Because I'm gonna need to be gaining life to fight this creeping tar pit here. And then this turn, one of the Snapcaster mages is gonna get chumped down on this Tarmogoyf. Cool. I guess reasonably correct there. Okay. And now from here, I just need to, I win these Deathrite heads ups. That's a very nice one. Oh, I should have played the Wasteland first so that my opponent can't block with Creeping Tar Pit. So we've got Strix lined up with Tarmogoyf. I can force. So what happens with this is on my opponent's end step, I can force a Deathrite fight. Okay, well, I am priced into trading. That was a huge mistake on my opponent's part. So here, let me exile the right card. I want to get Abrupt Decay out of the graveyard. And then I have no need to do anything else. That's a really good draw because now my opponent is dead. Oh, they're not dead yet, actually. They could have gained 2 life and then forced me to gain 2 life, and then they could draw an out to double death right there. So, you want to trim on this. Against this specific matchup, I like having the Wastelands. I don't know if I want another. Spellbomb's okay. I think really I just want like a couple Edicts. I don't really want Pyroblast. I like most of my cards. I think I just want to take out 1 Force. I don't want to take out too many. The card's still fine. I want to do like this because Edict kills more creatures. Bolt's fine, but not the most exciting card because it doesn't kill Goyf. And most of my opponent's creatures are weird threats. I guess Thoughtseize kind of sucks. What reasons are there for Neil Spellbomb? I don't think there's a ton. Gonna bring up some deck lists and think through what's going on. I guess Invasive Surgery is actually pretty reasonable here because it counters Ancestral and it counters Sultai. That's not Sultai Delver. Well, here we go. We've got potentially some 4-color decks. Just to look through some stuff. Oh, that's not right. Here we go. We got a Shardless deck. Yeah, you know. Uh, sure. That counters Ancestral as well, and that's the card I'm trying to attack. This counters Baleful Strix as well, I guess. Let's go with this. I like Invasive Surgery a little better. Counters him as well. I'd rather fight over the interactive spells than like random stuff. Though I guess I can Pyroblast a True Name or a Leovold. So maybe that. Oh, we'll see how this game goes. I'm not sold that this is correct. This hand's fine. It's not good, or it's not really good, but it's not terrible either. I've Answers Up the Curve, which is nice. If my opponent Death Rights on one, I just peg it down with Fatal Push. Fetching blue-black off Tarn. Okay. Well, I need to find a way to Force Will that before that happens. Well, this Brainstorm is sure not getting cast before that Ancestral Vision unless I draw another spell I can pitch to this Force. Brick, and Liliana and Jace. Jace is a problem. So Liliana is obviously the card I have to take. I guess I could have. I don't think that any of my cards does any like. I don't have anything that I'm protecting, so I'm not super enthralled with taking a spot removal spell. So I need to fight Jace and that. I think this might be enough reason to fire off a Brainstorm. And there's no days, so I can make my decision after. See, perfect. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I want to put back one land in the Fatal Push, because my opponent's just all answers anyways. And Polluted Delta is the better fetch here by a lot. Gosh, I hope I don't just get him. That would suck. Okay, I can fight this. That's not a relevant Magic card. Oh wow, that's especially not a relevant Magic card. I don't especially like my cards, so I might just Brainstorm again to try and find ways around Jace Ancestral. Wasteland is a way around that. Let's put back those two nonsense spells. Let's fetch up another blue-black. Let's push the Goyf, and then attack our opponent's mana. We're not going to be able to kill them in time for that to really matter, but it buys us just enough time. This is on 1 now. Oh, wow, that's great for me. Oh, wow, that's yeah, that's extra great. I know they have Fatal Push, but that doesn't do anything against this. They have Fatal Push, Decay, and Unknowns. That is certainly an answer to Ancestral Vision. Hello and good luck. Yeah. What's going on? Oh, Dismember. Yes, I would like to draw a card. No, I would like to. I'd like to Force Will, keep my creature, and counter your Ancestral Vision. And I believe Baleful Strix is the worst card in my hand. So unless they drew another Dismember, I think I'm good. Look at that delightful chat box. Whew. Yeah, another reason not to play Shardless Agent. Get wrecked. Thanks. Okay. Uh, well, let's start with an attack. And I guess this will get a red. Blue red? Black red. Blue red, black red. Blue red, black red. Black red. I'm low on cards. They don't have Bolt in their decks. So they can't punish me. So I'm just going to go up on cards. I think I want to put Abrupt Decay on top of my deck because it's Brainstorm's redundant. So what's the worst card in this hand? Painful Truce is really good here. I think the worst card in this hand is probably Brainstorm. So I'm going to put Abrupt Decay on top of my deck in case of a discard spell. That was dumb. I forgot how Leovold works. So if my opponent targeted me with Thoughtseize, I would just draw the Decay, which that was wrong. It's marginally wrong, I guess. So I know they have Push and Jace in their hand. So let's think about this. I can either Fate Seal them off of a land. I kind of like that. I think that's how I'm actually going to kill them. I'm just going to draw a bunch of cards with Painful Truce. I have too many cards. I don't need just way too many cards. Yeah, you can't have that. So blue, green, black. Draw some cards. And Deathrite costs black mana. And then the eventual solution to their Jace might actually just be let it resolve and then bury it. Yeah, I think going aggro with my Jace is pretty nice. I probably start here by going to... I want to kill their Strix so they can't attack my stuff. And I probably want to... Do I want Leovold back? Is Leovold better than a random card from them at this point? Probably. Do I want to ponder first? I probably do want to ponder first. Those look terrible. Black, red, 1. And let's start pondering some more. I'm just literally trying to find a Force Will at this point. Those are all terrible cards. Guess that's not the worst thing in the world either. Yeah, you can't have lands. Just not allowed. And the reason I'm safe firing that off like that is I have so many cards anyways, a Brainstorm's not going to help me. I just want to keep hammering on that point. Like, if I was lower on cards, I want to build up a protective barrier, but I have extra Brainstorms. I don't need to generate more Brainstorms. I have 7 cards. Okay, sure. It's a dead Deathrite Shaman for all I care. Is this your Deathrite Shaman? That's also dying. Question as to what? Probably. Okay, now the game is a lock. I this point, now that I have a backup answer to an opposing Jace, I'm going to fire the Lightning Bolt. Before, it was a little debatable if I wanted the Bolt to kill a Jace. But this is how I'm actually going to kill my opponent, is eventually just chasing them out of the game here. This is really funny. It's literally just like the reverse of the scry problem. The scry problem being like when you have I'm trying to think of like the exact scenario where it's like you use your scries and then you have this alternating scenario of like you draw land, then you have to scry to bottom, or all this, or not scry. It's like the self mill cards. Where you're like, oh no, if I only shuffle one card off, I mill my top card and it's a spell, and I draw a land. Repeat that. It's the reverse. It's like I keep hitting their lands and they draw their spells that don't matter. Is that a land? I'm only really afraid of things that my opponent can cast using lands. So I'm not going to let them have lands. And I'm playing that so I can just snap, push. Yeah, okay, great. Cool. That was fun. I hope that you and our opponent all learned a lesson about what happens when you play cards that interact poorly with Leovold. You lose. The Wastelands are really nice, and just letting you get some free wins here and there. Not usually the way that I think we actually used all parts of the Buffalo on those Wastelands. Game 1, it killed 2 virtual creatures, and that game it killed our opponent. Awesome. Inquisition allowed us to set up a game plan. Just all the cards that we have that our opponent didn't were all really nice. Especially Leovold.